Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you back to another episode of Mastering Money for Moms. I am so delighted you're here today, and I have a special guest speaker who I got to meet through our current mastermind that I'm in called Live Out Loud, where we talk about our faith and we inspire one another to live out what God has called us to. And so Tayisha is doing just that, and you're going to be amazed by her story. She has created a 4-step asset multiply her framework to help career level women um, level up by beyond their salaries, but in everything they're doing through real estate. And so I feel like she's the perfect guest to have on here today. She not only has a W-2 job, but she is building her family's finances in a different way and encouraging other women to do the same. She is in a whole load of different kind of um, leagues that are helping other people and inspiring people to participate in different groups and communities outside of her work. And so when I read her bio, I was just blown away at how she's a member of the Junior League. She is also in different minorities organizations. She's in Honor Society. She's also pursuing an MBA at Southern University currently. So she's got a whole lot going on, and I can't wait to turn over the mic to her. So Tayisha, welcome.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm so happy to be here today.
Well, so as I was reading through your bio, I was really blown away that you have a job, you have a career that you've been very, very successful with, but yet you are finding time somehow to lead all these different organizations. Plus, you're getting your MBA. And on top of that, you're creating a framework for other people to purchase real estate. So tell me, how do you do it all? And where did this drive come from?
I've always had the drive to do more and to do something that I've never done before. And so I can just remember as soon as I turned 15 back in the day, like you were able to start working some hours, not full time. And I was so excited about that. And I couldn't wait to become full time so I could, be able to have my own financial independence. So I thought, but at least start getting my own income. And so I always wanted to take advantage of whatever available time that I had. And so I always just kept finding more things to do to fill in those gaps. To me, it was better than just, staying at home or hanging out with friends, which are all great. It's just I was on a mission to figure out what life was about, to see what was different from what I saw every day. And so I just kept going and moving every day to get closer to what is it that I'm missing out on? What is it that I don't see? What is it that I haven't seen yet? And so I just stayed busy. And I took that over into my adult life as well. I think now being a mother, being a wife, being a career woman at a Fortune 100 company, starting a business, so many things that I'm involved in. Now I'm starting to really understand the skill and the gift of delegating.
Ooh,
And
that's a
that's been
big
a big
one.
help. Yeah.
So you obviously didn't just well, first of all, let me just say that drive in you, I think that's probably God-given,
Yeah.
and you felt that calling upon your heart to do more and do more. And so God entrusted you very early on in life and gave you the gift of time and resources to pursue that drive that you had. So I love that you didn't just let it go to waste, that you stepped into it and that you continue to step into it in every single part of your life. And if you were to ever meet Taisha in person, you would immediately know that she is a kingdom person and she's a woman of excellence. And I am so blessed to know you. And I can't wait to see how, God can use both of us and somehow maybe intermingle our lives to do real estate together in the future. But
Yes.
let's step into today and finding, how did you carve out time to create this framework for others to do what you're doing? Because you have a lot going on.
I do. I do. And you said it best. It is just a God-given talent for the drive that I have. Like doing the work, it's some of you having to do that, but having the desire and will, like that's something that God just places in you, and then you have to act upon it. So I think what causes me to have this drive and to find the time is knowing that I can be impactful, is knowing that our time on earth is limited and I have to be about my father's business. And so whatever he put in me is not just for me, it's not just for my family and my lineage, it's for me to share with others. And so I find any time that I have available. It could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I get so many people coming to ask me about my real estate portfolio and how do I do it and what's the steps to take. And so instead of doing the one-on-ones, it was just easier to create this framework and create a digital course where I can have women sign up and take the course. I think that helps me to free up time, and it still gets to the same purpose of serving the women that are wanting the financial freedom, that are wanting to build a legacy for their family. It's just doing it in a group setting opposed to one-on-one. So it's really about being smarter with your time. Yes, it took me a while to create the framework, to write the book, to come up with the digital course, but now I can step back and there's multiple people that can take the course, that can read the book, and that can do all these things at their own time, at their leisure. It's not like I'm having to take additional time to um, have those one-on-one coaching calls. I do some of that, but for the most part it's in a group setting, and I can reach more people at one time opposed to one-on-ones throughout the day or throughout the week.
That's so great. So her book is called The Execupreneur, and I already started reading it and it's so good. So if any of you are looking for another read, I really recommend it. If you're wanting to get into real estate and figure out her 4-step process, get her book. You can find it out on Amazon. And I would also say that, a lot of people, they have a calling in their heart and a desire, and they want to get started in real estate or they want to write that book or whatever it is, but something's holding them back, right? We've all had those doubts in our mind, but you just found a way, Tayisha, to overcome that. So what how can you encourage people, or what would you say can help people overcome that fear of even just getting started, right? Getting that first single family home. Do you have any advice you can give our audience?
Yes, don't let fear stop you. Fear can delay, but it should never stop you. You have to push through the fear. You have to push through what people think. You have to push through the unknown in order to figure out what's on the other side. Yes, I was afraid to buy my first rental property. I had no mentor, I had no proper training. I just knew it was something I wanted to do, and I knew I needed to do it. And so when I did it, I made a lot of mistakes. This was back in 2009 when I bought my first property. I made mistakes. I didn't have the right tenants. I made, some bad purchases on fixing up the home. Like it was a list of things that went wrong. But had I not done that, I wouldn't be where I am today with 14 tenants and continuing to build on more of that. So I'm really blessed to have people around me encouraging me to keep going. So I would say another thing that will help you is having a circle of women and people that will motivate you and tell you to keep going, and not the people that are skeptical and saying that you shouldn't be doing it when you know God put something in your heart to do. You should go for it, because if you take the first step, then God will take the second. You have to do your part. God's not going to do it for you. He will give you everything that you need to be successful. You have to go about doing it and executing on it. And so
Oh,
that has really helped me a lot by having that circle of people around me. And then just knowing that I can't let fear stop me. I mean, fear will sometimes paralyze you. Failure will sometimes paralyze you and tell you, hey, maybe that's enough, maybe I should just stop here. It will cause you to question everything that God told you to do, and you just have to trust him and just believe that you have the faith to keep going, and knowing that he's not going to let you down. If he put it inside of you, it's for a reason. His word will never come back void. So if he put it in your spirit, if he spoke it to you, then it will happen. You just have to believe and trust and take the leap.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. So let me commend you on buying a home without any kind of mentor in your life. So I was late to real estate when I found and purchased my very first home. Um, but I had went through a coaching program. So I knew the basics. And when I bought the first one, and I was so excited to share it with my mentor, he goes, "Yep, you didn't buy under the 1% rule." And I was like, "Wait a minute, I just paid all this money for this program and I'm just now learning about the 1% rule." So for all of you out there, it's just a simple rule to make sure that you're able to cover your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, and all the incidental expenses that come up. So if you were to buy a home for 300,000, you should be able to rent it for 3,000 and still cover your mortgage and all those other things that I listed. But Tayisha, you went out and you did it on your own. And I just applaud you because like you said, you had some downfalls, but you picked yourself back up and you kept going. And now you've got all these other single family homes or multi-family homes, but whatever you're doing, it's working for you and you're pushing forward and you're creating a really wonderful, tangible asset portfolio that your family is going to have long after you pass, should they decide to keep it. And you're creating financial freedom so that you don't always have to depend on a W-2 job, right?
Yes. That is it, right? Like I know what I'm doing for me right now is not just for me, it's for my children, my grandchildren. I'm thinking so far ahead of just me and what I can benefit from it. Look, if my kids could come out of college and not have to work a W-2, but maybe start a business if that's what they want to do. If they want to go work in corporate America, I'm all for it, but I want them to have choices and options. I didn't have options and choices until now.
Mhm.
If those choices and options were there, I was not aware of them. And so I had to go out on a limb and start taking risk, starting businesses, um, investing in different, vehicles to try to figure out what was my way and what was the vehicle that would take me to generational wealth. And for me, it was real estate. And as I mentioned, with that first property that I bought, thankfully it's still in my portfolio today, but having a circle of people and like-minded people around you that understand the business, that have made all the mistakes before, and you can come in and actually get the knowledge, information that you need to buy right, meaning that you buy the right property for the right price in the right neighborhood and you've done your research. That's something that if you try to learn on your own, you can, but it would take a long time. And
Absolutely.
time is of the essence now. And if you can connect with people that have done it before and done it successfully, then that's your fast track to your legacy. Like
Absolutely.
it's been 16 years for me that I've been in the business. And now I'm helping women to buy a property in year one and buy it right. Like that saves them 15 years. What would I do in 15 years if I can get that back?
Such good words of wisdom right there. I think the greatest thing I ever did in my real estate was go through a coaching program and then have a mentor and then continue to level up and pay for more and more coaches that were where I was wanting to go,
Yes.
because you save yourself time and you save a lot of money from making sure you don't make the mistakes. And so for all of our audience members out there, obviously Taisha's got a program, I've got a program. You need to think about the ROI you're going to get when you sign up with somebody like ourselves. You're going to make that back immediately because you're going to think of the thousands of dollars you're going to save by not making costly mistakes, right? So I love that you have kind of given people a short circuit way to get to success. When I first started, I remember this image that was, it came up on Instagram or something, but there was this man in a bubble and there was an arrow leading outside and it says, outside of your comfort zone lies success. And so every day I would look at that and that would be my motivator to get me to do things that I didn't want to do. Because let's be honest, it's real easy to stay in our pajamas every day and to do the things that we're accustomed to doing and hang out with the people we grew up with, right? But the reality is the only way you're going to break the chains of poverty that may have been holding, been bound around your ankles for generations, right? Sometimes they're generations of poverty. You have to break those by getting uncomfortable and getting outside your comfort zone.
Yes.
So I love that you took the time. You made the time. You didn't you made the time. And that was a sacrifice of your spouse to
Yes.
give you that time so he could watch the children so that you could build this book, build this framework, create this digital marketing program. So I applaud you and all the other husbands out there that are supporting us women in this desire to create financial freedom for our families
Yes.
because we are getting rid of the shackles that have held us down for most of our lives. And we're creating a legacy for, like you said, not only our families, but for others, other families as well. And I think
Yes.
that that's what God has created in you and given you the desire to do. So I know that we could talk a lot on real estate, but I want to talk about what's next for you. What, because you've done so much already, right? But
Yeah.
what else has God placed in your heart?
It's to help as many women as I possibly can. For a while you mentioned the shackles, right? Those shackles does not always mean financial shackles. Sometimes it's all in your head. Sometimes your mind is so shackled that you don't even see it for yourself, that you don't believe that you can have success, that you believe it's too late. The enemy will tell you all the things that are different from what God tells you. And before, I would not have these types of interviews where I could actually discuss my faith and talk about how grounded I am in God and my faith. And I just want that opportunity to not only show women how to buy real estate or how to get financially free, but how you can get free in your mind by getting close to God and having a relationship with Him. And so when you mentioned the shackles, the first thing that I thought about is poverty is a financial situation. However, poverty is also in your mind. If you don't believe and expand your mind enough to believe that you can be a millionaire, there's some people that don't want to be a millionaire because they're afraid to say it because they're afraid to fail. I'm going to shout it from the mountaintop. I'm going to shout that I'm wealthy and I have everything because my father is wealthy. My father has everything. He created everything. So what he has belongs to me. So that means I'm wealthy too. And when people can set their mind to believe that, then they can understand that I could have whatever it is that I desire because my father owns it. It's my inheritance. But some people are so afraid of failing that they just shackle their mind to, I'm just going to be okay with being okay. I'm not okay with being okay. I'm not okay with being average, and neither should anyone else. Abundance is your birthright.
Amen. And
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, you know what, when you grow up with mental shackles, because that's where they're at, right? We don't literally have shackles around our ankles. They
Yeah.
are mental shackles that say we shouldn't dream very big because it's not going to happen. It didn't happen to your parents. So how could it ever happen for you? But God did say that he's created it all for you and you just have to ask
Yes.
and the door will be opened, right? We don't have because we don't ask. And I'll never forget when I got into the multifamily space and our mentor said, "What if you could just dream everything into existence? What does that look like?" And I remember just sitting there thinking to myself, I don't even know how to dream. I
Mhm.
don't even know what I would ask for. I just thought, wow, my dreamer's broken.
Wow.
And so I had to rely on other people's dreams to help me see, oh, so I can dream for a trip to Europe, or I could dream to have a beach home, or maybe I could dream to have a mountain home. So I had to take other people's dreams and start putting them on my vision board because of what you just said, Tayisha. And you are impacting so many women's lives by talking about your faith and letting them know that God has so much more designed for them. They have to believe in it and they have to step into it with faith, knowing that God is right there with them, walking alongside. And in many cases, He's carrying us. But we
Yes.
have to trust. We have to trust that He wants that for us and that He's a good God and He will give us everything that we desire.
Yes. Amen to that.
Whew. Okay. I feel the Holy Spirit a
Yes.
lot. This is so great. Obviously, people are going to want to connect with you. They're going to want to know how you got what you got and how they can have what you have, and how you have this deep desire for the Lord and that you're serving Him. And they're going to want to step out in faith too. So, what is the best way, Tayisha, that they can reach you?
So I'm on most social media platforms. I'm on Facebook as the Multiplier, and that's spelled Multipliher. So Multiplier. And then on Instagram, it's the Multiplier. And then, of course, I could always be reached on my website at www.theassetmultiplier.com. Just reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to connect with you or maybe have you a part of our Facebook community. But more than anything, just connecting to Jennifer, connecting to, the messages that she's putting out there. I love the fact that you're bringing so many successful women in that love God, that can share with the community that join your podcast and that listen to your podcast. And I'm just honored that you asked me to be here so I can share my story.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. This is a really great segue into Hearts for Moms, which is an organization led by another fellow Live Out Loud mastermind member. And she has started a organization to help single moms get back on their feet, give them a framework and resources so they don't have to live in poverty anymore. And
Yes.
so I would encourage all of our listeners, if you feel called to help serve or you want to help donate to that cause. Tayisha is wearing her Hearts for Moms necklace right now. There, for every necklace purchase, there are dollars that go towards supporting that organization. So I've got a necklace. I'm sorry that I'm not wearing it today, but it is a beautiful cause. And I would encourage you to go over to heartsformoms.org and check out more information of how you can support single moms, get a leg up in life, and create financial freedom for their families. You're not only touching one person, but you're touching generations to come by supporting that organization.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Tayisha, for being here. It's such a blessing. I cannot wait to see where you're at and where God takes you in another year, 5 years, and 10 years down the road.
I
And
will.
so for all of our listeners, I want to encourage you to dream. I want to encourage you to step out of your comfort zone and to step into what God has called you to do. And if you liked today's message, I would ask that you would go out, leave me a 5-star review, and share, like, and subscribe to this and share it with others. I just appreciate each and every one of you for being here today. And again, thank you, Tayisha. Everyone, please have a blessed day.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.